45-year-old woman, Ada Al-Ghamidi, who is simply imprisoned because her son sought asylum in the UK. And people just don't see what's going on the ground because Saudi Arabia are not allowing or trying to step away from the oil human rights violations by buying into institutions to deflect from what's actually going on.
And Leeds University, where Salma Al-Shahab was studying, says it is hoping to take action in an effort to try and secure her release. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, as Kyiv cancels celebrations to mark Ukraine's Independence Day on Wednesday, an EU official suggests the bloc should consider training Ukrainian soldiers. Thousands are being evacuated from flood-hit areas in India and Pakistan, and an investigation is underway in Uganda following the death of 12 people alleged to have consumed locally produced gin. That's the latest feature story news. Laura Macon-Isherwood reporting.
Good morning. It's KCHW 102.7. Looks like we got the girls dancing in their chairs. Yay!
Or at least bobbing our heads around.
Right. Yes. I've always wanted a show with dancing girls. Just too bad one of them's my sister. Supposed to be the wah-wah-wah.
Wah-wah-wah.
All right, we got Val, my sister, live from Deer Park, Washington, in front of the Aurora Borealis. Good morning, Val.
It's for a little Northern Lights action right there. Good morning.
Oh. And in the big control room in Chihuahua, we have the one and only Michelle Williams. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning, everybody.
And then we got little Scott all the way from Maine. All right. All things wound up this morning. We've got a rant we're going to talk to Val about in just a few minutes. Stand by. Oh, so exciting.
Let me climb up on my soapbox. I'm all ready.
Yeah. Let's see weather. Let's start off with that a little bit better. Nice for the radio station, too. Looks like looking at the forecast, we can stay at full power all week. We're nothing over 100 where we start to get worried about temperatures in the shack. Yeah. So 91 for a high today under mostly sunny skies, down to 61 tonight with a few clouds. And get this, 20% chance of rain. You get a 50% chance of afternoon thunderstorms with some rain in them tomorrow. That's scary for fire danger. So hopefully it does bring a lot of rain with it. 88 tomorrow for a high still, and 60 for an overnight low. Partly cloudy on Thursday with a 25% chance of rain, 87 and 58. Friday right now looking like 90 and 56 with sunny skies. And your weekend looking partly cloudy on Saturday with a high of 80. And mostly sunny on Sunday with a high of 82. So weather mellowing out for you guys a little bit this week. Enjoy.
Oh, so ready for some, 80-degree temperature.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
All right. Val sounds a little quiet on my side. Is she okay with you, Michelle?
She seems okay on this side.
Okay. All right. Could just be me. A lot of times it's just me.
I was thinking that was a loaded question. Is Val okay?
Wow. All right. Hey, I get 69 degrees today with rain already this morning, and was out walking in the rain, getting some exercise with Lindsay. And Lindsay said to tell you hi, Val.
Oh, tell her hi too.
All right. 59 tonight for me for an overnight low, and I have a very mild week. So I see a 75, an 82, a 78, a 77. So very, very chill.
Yeah.
All right. So before we get into our news stories, Val, I felt so bad for you. You were getting trolled online all because of a couch.
Gosh, it was crazy. I have an antique sofa. Mom and Dad gave it to us, and they probably had it for 45 or 50 years. I've had it for 30 years, and it's just been sitting in the basement, and I'm like, it needs to go. So I listed it on Facebook, and it is like a 1920s mission style fold out sofa. I mean, it's rare, and it's a little rough for shape, but I posted it on Facebook Marketplace. Oh my gosh, the comments, the meanness, I was like, holy cow. It was so.
It's because it was tore up, and people were like, "Why are you selling this for so much?" Because it's kind of tore up.
Exactly. And it was like, so, hey, give me $50 and I'll haul it to the dump for you. And that was a mild one. I mean, they were just nasty. And I was like, oh, why am I doing this? It's like if you don't like it, don't like the price, just keep scrolling on by. You don't have to stop and, be ugly about it. So yeah. But then I had other people jump to my jump to my defense, and it was like, it's worth that. You don't understand how rare it is. Back off, people. So at least I had that too.
Well, and the ones that are commenting are probably part of that IKEA culture. All my furniture gets put together with dowels and screws.
Yes. Exactly, and it falls apart after a year.
Yeah, don't get it wet.
Whatever you do, cardboard disintegrates.
Yeah, if you had all IKEA furniture, and let's say your house got flooded, you'd come in and all your furniture would just be in pieces on the floor, kind of mushy.
Right. Well, even if it.
So anyway, it's just been interesting, and yeah.
All right, Michelle, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, even if it doesn't fall apart, I'd like to see what condition any of their furniture is in 100 years from now.
Uh-huh.
An 100-year-old couch.
Exactly.
That's why I have all inflatable furniture.
Oh, and a cat.
Yeah, good combination.
Yes, I have lots of patches.
Yeah, I know. I was looking at the possibility of hot tubs, and they have those inflatable ones. And Trevor was telling me, well, we could always get one of those. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Uh-huh. It'll last 3 days, and then we'll both be very angry. With our cats.
So I've owned a couple of those, and the brand I bought it twice, and it's because I sold one, and then I moved because I was moving, and then I moved to a place where I could have a hot tub again, so I bought another one, and it was called Spa in a Box, and they went out of business. And if you look on Amazon at all the inflatable hot tubs that are they were the first, so it's kind of like a copy of them. They all have horrible ratings. I've wanted one, but I'm scared. I'm scared to buy one, and I don't want to kick out $5,000 for a real hot tub.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I tried throwing the blow dryer. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, since the pandemic, I mean, we paid. Let's see, we got our latest hot tub in 2017. We paid $4,500 with tax. The same hot tub right now is about $10,000.
Whoa!
Wow.
They have gone sky high.
Wow. There's one of the inflatable ones that says it's only been used 3 times. I noticed on our local Facebook marketplace, and I was thinking about picking it up, and I'm like, why'd they only use it 3 times? What's wrong with it?
Aren't you going to go troll them and be nasty about it too?
Yeah.
Was it in an Airbnb?
Say that again. Was it what?
I said, was it in an Airbnb?
No, it wasn't. I did like on your couch, though, you had pictures of where the seat's torn and stuff. And in one of them, you could see a mattress because it is a hide-a-bed couch, right?
Yes, it was. And I mean, it was, I think one of the first, they call it a fold-out sofa, was made in 1897.
It looks like the original mattress is in it.
What you're seeing, I think, is the batting.
And
so it was batting and straw in there. And so, I mean, a lot of that, all the straw and the batting and everything that used to be the mattress is all disintegrated or been eaten by mice over the years. I'm not sure which. So, but yeah, I mean, if somebody had the money to restore it, I mean, I would guess it's going to be close to $2,000, that it would be worth if it's all restored. But yeah.
Got to find the right person. I have a buddy that sells tons of antiques, and he says people just aren't into them anymore. Everybody wants the IKEA furniture. So
I don't get it.
I would try it on Etsy or something.
It's just the shipping.
Mm.
I wouldn't even know how to begin to get it shipped because I'm sure it's 200-300 pounds. I mean, it's solid wood.
Right.
Oh yeah, and it's it looks like the legs are 4x4 posts on it. It's pretty stout.
Yes.
I would not pick it up. No way. All right. I've got a few.
So if anybody out there, is looking for a 1920s mission style sofa,
there you go.
hit me up.
All right. A few stories from the news headlines. And it looks like I've already lost my first one. I'm so sorry. That's really strange. Okay, let's move on then. Trump seeking a special master to review the Mar-a-Lago documents. So lawyers for the former president asked a federal judge yesterday to halt the FBI's review of documents recovered from his Florida estate earlier this month until a neutral special master can be appointed to inspect the records. A request was included in a federal lawsuit, the first filing by Trump's legal team in the 2 weeks since the search. Also, on a side note, he's had a hard time finding lawyers because he hasn't paid the rest of them.
Yeah, that's kind of tough for him.
That takes broad aim at the FBI investigation into the discovery of classified records at Mar-a-Lago and the foreshadows the arguments his lawyers are expected to make as the probe proceeds. I don't, me personally, I don't think, I think the FBI going over the documents is totally safe and a good thing. I don't think you need a special person to check them out. I just don't.
Mm. And, you've got, appointees by him to the FBI too. So it's not like it's going to be one-sided or. Well, that's
the thing. Most of the people that are doing this were all appointed by him originally. And now all of a sudden he has a problem with it. Now, here's my take on it. If he really was, and in my opinion, he never has been, but if he was a stand-up guy and if he has nothing to worry about, why not get out in front of this and tell people what you took and what's in there? I mean, don't disclose classified information about the government, but tell us, yes, admit to taking it and tell us why and get out in front of it.
Right.
Instead of making it big. If you don't have anything to feel guilty about or anything you're worried you're going to go to prison for, get out in front of it and be honest. It's one thing. I don't feel like and other people will say, oh, I've never heard him tell a lie. Well, he's never told the truth on anything. Get out in front of it. That would be something to at least give him some street cred for me.
Or really, if they wanted to have no doubt at all, I know that they can't do these things, but just have a public airing of what they found as they go through it. Just, oh, look, here's this and here's this,
Oh, that'll definitely all come out eventually. So I think the biggest thing for me is, and especially for the people that don't understand what's going on or are defending him in this, is that he was asked by the FBI to turn over his documents. He did turn over some, told them that he had turned over everything, and then they found out he had not. So again, if you want to be done with this, if you didn't want any of this to come under investigation, all you had to do was return everything.
And they knew he hadn't returned everything. And his statement that's in the news all over the place is when they came back and said, you still have more, he says, yeah, they're mine. Duh, something's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. So, there was definitely ways for him to avoid this also. In any of this, don't play the victim. You had every opportunity to not get in trouble.
And I don't get the supporters. They act like every organization of the government is in collusion against him, even the National Archives. And literally what you have is organizations trying to do their jobs. It says it comes as the New York Times reported that this is his lawsuit, that the government has recovered more than 300 documents marked classified from Mar-a-Lago. That includes the 150 retrieved by the National Archives in January, some more that he handed over in June, and everything else that they picked up with the raid. So you took 300 classified documents? No president's ever done this before. And obviously he took them because he handed some back. So where's the lies at? I don't get the conspiracy theorists here. Where's the lies at? He obviously took stuff he wasn't supposed to. So,
and it's like, if you hadn't, would you be hiding it? You have to know at some point that what you took is going to get you in trouble, or else you would have already returned it. It's, I just feel like it's like a kid who steals 3 cookies out of the cookie jar when his mom told him not to, and then when she says give them back, he gives one back and hides the other 2 under his bed. It's like it's just kind of that mentality. I think That full
And he's very vengeful in his and he's very vengeful in his speech. So you know that he had ideas, these things that he thought he could use in the future. Or why would you take them? Mm-hmm. Why would you hide them from the National Archives? You know.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on. Some people are probably not enjoying that.
I have a headline that might affect you, Scott.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Kingdom Creamery of Vermont ice cream recall. I don't know if you've seen that brand in the stores near you, but they do deliver to Maine. So a lot of their ice creams have been recalled this year due to contamination with listeria. So if you have any Kingdom Creamery ice cream up there, they delivered to Vermont, Massachusetts, and Maine.
Oh.
Don't eat the listeria.
I think I'm safe. I've been sticking with Cool Whip.
There you go.
By the spoonfuls.
I do. It says now on the thing, you eat like ice cream, so I do.
Right, so do you leave it frozen and eat it? Or
yes.
do you thaw and eat
it? Yep, just like ice cream.
There's a whole bunch of flavors in here that are recalled, so make sure you let your daughter know.
All right. No Vermont ice cream. Kingdom Creamery.
Yes.
All right.
You know, I like part of why I like Cool Whip though is the creaminess. So I don't know that I've ever just tried it frozen like ice cream.
It's excellent. It really is. It's excellent.
Oh yeah.
Don't eat too much. You'll regret it later. Is all I'm saying.
What you do is you get a couple of those, like those soft chocolate chip cookies. You know, you take the frozen Cool Whip and you stick it between two cookies and make a cookie sandwich. Oh.
I've done that a lot, but I just used the thawed version of that and just stuck it between two cookies.
Fat kid snacks.
Back when I didn't have to, back when I didn't gain weight just by looking at something like that.
The name of them is escaping me, but here in Maine they make these things. They're like a ball, and it's cake with creamy stuff in the middle, like frosting, or you can imagine you could do Cool Whip or something like that, and like a giant s'more almost. But like I had a pumpkin chocolate chip one the other day. Well, I shouldn't say I had one. I had a few bites of one. It was far too rich for me, but. Yeah, they have their own name, and it'll come to me later in the show, but they're ridiculously big.
Oh. All right.
Uh-huh. People that love those kind of cake goodies would just totally dig them. All right. Let's see. I had a couple more news headlines here. Have you guys heard the story about the Finnish Prime Minister?
No.
I have not.
Okay, so the Finnish Prime Minister, I don't know if I can get her picture. Oh, they took it off. She's totally hot. I mean, this girl.
Scott's takeaway.
Oh, my God. She is so hot. She's probably maybe 35. She's the youngest prime minister ever. And she got in trouble for somebody. She was at a party, and she was dancing and then singing karaoke. And somebody filmed her, and they were making a big deal out of it. You know, I suppose her haters. That she was partying and stuff, and she's like, "Hey, I was with friends. I didn't know somebody was going to disseminate this film that was at the party." But she went out ahead of it, like I was saying that Trump should do. She got out ahead of this. You know what she did? She went and took a drug test.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, she took a drug test to show. I wasn't doing anything illegal. I wasn't doing any illicit drugs. I was drinking with my friends and having a good time. Get over it. And you know what? If people don't like it, they'll decide that at the next election. But she is so hot.
And that's just it. Do you think that they're suddenly don't have any social life at all just because they've, they're in a position like that? But at the same point, I guess you need to be a little bit careful in that too, what kind of impression is it going to give?
Yes. Yeah. You really don't want that stuff. Like Boris having all the private parties.
Yes.
Yeah. In Germany, we're in lockdown, but he's having secret parties. There, I put her picture up instead of mine online. See, is she not totally hot?
Yep, she's pretty cute.
She's pretty cute. So I'm in love with the new Finnish Prime Minister Marin, who's 36. And could be seen dancing and singing with 5 other people. For shame.
You know what? I just want to party with her.
Right?
Me too. So apparently you think she's hot too, Al. All right.
Yeah. I've got wine that I can share with her. I mean, we could have some karaoke. We can karaoke and drink right here, and I promise not to film her.
I'm so enamored with her that I checked into getting Finnish citizenship. And I Googled all of her photos, just saying.
Creeper.
Yeah, kind of. Right. Sorry. I was bored, okay? All right. What?
You were bored for 5 days?
Yeah. Wow, Val. All right. That's all it took to get me to play you your new song. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Mama liked to party when you were in her belly. Drinking she did some. Mama liked to party when you were in her belly. That's why you are dumb.
I always swear that mom claimed as soon as she got pregnant with me, she quit smoking and didn't smoke again until after I was born. I don't.
Yeah, sure. She told everybody that, though.
I know it. I don't believe it for a second. If you look at baby pictures of me, yeah. I was very, very slim as a baby.
Were
I
you?
was not the chubby ones. Oh, yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, you're better now, so that's all that matters, right?
That's all that matters.
Something you don't hear very often in Denver, citing alarm toward the Republican Party's widespread embrace of the 2020 election conspiracies. GOP Colorado Senator has switched his affiliation to Democrat, enhancing that party's prospects to retain its majority in the chamber. Kevin Priola, who represents county in the Denver suburbs, said in a letter Monday he was horrified by the January 6th insurrection on the U.S. Capitol and had waited in vain for his party to repudiate it, as well as former President Donald Trump, who continues to insist that it was stolen. He said that repudiation never came, and to my dismay, brave and honorable Republicans like Mike Pence, Liz Cheney, Mitt Romney, and Adam Kinzinger have fought to defend the Constitution and the rule of law, only to be met with ridicule and threats. I cannot continue to be a part of a political party that is okay with a violent attempt to overturn a free and fair election and continues to peddle claims that the 2020 election was stolen. Numerous assertions that the president's election was stolen have been proven false. Pence, the former vice president, has been vilified in the GOP for certifying the results of the 2020 presidential race. In hours after the insurrection, Romney was a target of Trump-aligned Republicans hostile toward the Utah senator, who has used his name to divisively brand their rivals, Mitt Romney Republicans. All right.
You know what I find interesting in all this, and I never knew about it until politics have been so in the news, is that each party has what they call their whip. And so when the Democrats want a specific bill to be passed or whatever it may be, they have this whip that goes around and basically whips them into shape. I mean, they pressure them, they do all this stuff to make sure that they vote party lines. And Republicans have the same thing. And I'm like, something is wrong with this. Mm-hmm. When you're basically intimidated and strong-armed by your own party to make sure that you vote the way they want you to. That, to me, that should be illegal. You vote your conscience. You don't vote party lines. I mean, let's be bipartisan in how we run our government. And maybe most people in the United States, 74%, wouldn't say they don't trust their government anymore.
In the wake of all the things that have been happening and all the theatrics in politics, isn't there a new party emerging? I think you were talking something about that not too long ago, Scott.
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago, and I can't remember what the name of it is. It was like one news story, and then it's faded, but I think we'll be hearing more from them. They are trying to. They think by the primaries they'll be registered in what was like 36 states, and they said by the 2024 election, this new party, and it was supposedly made up of former Republicans and Democrats who are in the middle, who are moderates on both sides. And I can't remember what the name of the party was going to be, but their plan is to be on the ballot by 2024 for the elections.
Good. Because I think that's really what we need. Like, I think after COVID and all of this just crazy spectacle of everything and the theatrics and the, like, focusing on all the things that just don't really make a difference for us as citizens. Like, I really think that we need a fresh look at how we want to move forward from all of this. And I kind of see it in, not just in politics, but in I guess the smaller levels of government and stuff, how like city officials and county officials, and we're just so tired of everything. It's like we want to move forward, and put a fresh foot out there and just like, okay, where do we go from here, and just leave all this ugly stuff behind us. And so I really am eager to see what happens with all of that.
Well, we'll take the CDC. They've been around for decades and decades, and when they finally have something to do, they're lost.
Oh.
So you have this big bloated government agency that should have been on top of all this. They've had years to prepare for the next pandemic, and I realize it was kind of a new thing, but they seem grossly inept. And I'm going to agree with you. I think that was a great statement. I'm even going to give you a round of applause. Because you look at our country even, and I grew up, 70s, 80s, 90s, and I had this belief system that our government was, well, it's the American government, boo-roo-ha,
Right.
They're on top of stuff. We're the supreme leaders of the world, we're a great example and all this. And then I've watched these horrible, violent wars that we've perpetuated ourselves. We point the finger at Russia, but we've done the same thing countless times. You take a look at where we thought our government was in control of everything, and when Trump became president and started doing stuff that had never been done before, they all looked at each other in confusion. And then it comes out that we farmed out all of our pharmaceuticals to places like China and stuff like that, and these horrible things that leave America and its population at risk. And then once it comes out that we've had all of our drugs being made in China, they've done nothing to turn that around.
Well, yeah, and then you follow that up with Biden. Didn't he give all of our military reserves to Ukraine? So it's like, okay, cool. So we're getting drugged by China, and now we have no way to defend ourselves. Like, all of our, it's just, we need to start over, I think.
I guess it was the same thing for Russia, though, too, because you would think they would have that they have this massive military, and they can't even conquer one tiny little country.
Yeah.
I would say, for like you were talking about the wars we've been in and stuff, at least, and I'm not defending the state of our government because it is a wreck, but we have never gone in to invade and claim a country for our own like Russia is doing right now. I mean, they want to bring Ukraine back to Mother Russia. So, I'm not agreeing with the places we have gone and claimed it was to help the people and it was because we wanted oil. But at least we didn't want to go over there and stamp United States on the name of the, on the country. So
we're more subversive about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead, we just drop a Coca-Cola manufacturing company in the middle of it and destroy their ecosystem.
There you go. Yeah. So I think a new branch for not a new branch, but a new party is definitely something that's needed. And I think because of everything we've been through, I think we're going to see a lot more maybe independence or maybe a third party come up, because I think we're all tired of the status quo. And one thing everybody on both sides screams about is term limits, the fact that Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell have aged for decades in our U.S. government, it's not right. It shouldn't be. I think somebody brought this up last week. It shouldn't be a career.
Right.
It should be public service.
Exactly. And career politicians, that's definitely an occupation that needs to be terminated. Like, you should have a regular job and then do this on the side. That way you don't get so far out of touch with what it actually takes to survive and to live in this country, pay your bills like everybody else. Like, they're so far removed from the basic life of everyone that lives in this country that they don't have a clue or even care about. They don't have to care about the decisions they make because it doesn't really affect them.
Because they're millionaires.
And I don't think a Supreme Court justice seat should be a lifetime appointment either.
No, I don't think any of it should.
Yeah.
Well,
because that's where we kind of get, locked in these issues that are coming before the Supreme Court, is because they've been in there for so long and they're appointed by whichever president is in office at the time. So So it's never, it doesn't feel like it's ever a moderate that goes
Right.
into office.
Mhm.
It's either, a Democrat or Republican. I'll put it more liberal and conservative instead of moderate, because they don't have those political affiliations. But the president that chooses them because they're definitely more liberal or more conservative. And I feel like at some point we should have 3 justices that consider them or call themselves liberal, 3 that call themselves conservative, and 3 that call themselves moderate. Let's get a true representation instead of stacking the court in one direction or the
Right.
other.
Definitely. Because you don't get
yeah,
justice that way.
Yeah, because then I feel like it really would be a sort of impartial, let's follow the rule of the law, let's follow the Constitution type of decisions instead of stuff that are based on different
Right.
belief systems.
And at that point, you have some element of accountability, and just like, okay, so if like we eliminated terms, like, or put term limits on, like, I could see certain people maybe sitting on an advisory board, because the turnaround of, someone in that position is going to make it hard to make, longer stretches of progress if we actually move in a direction where we have progress, hopefully, eventually. But like, the people that are experienced to sit on some kind of an advisory board for a certain length of time after their term might be a good idea, but to just leave someone in that position to help make those decisions for years and years and years that needs to go away.
And it's like whatever, if the Democrats are in charge or Republicans and the president, whatever things they get in while they're in the majority immediately gets overturned when the other party is in the majority. And it's stuff like that drives me crazy. How are we ever going to make long-term progress in this country
We
if
can't.
everything that comes up is overturned by the next?
Right.
And so, it's just so frustrating. I mean, I could go off on my soapbox about climate change and what we're doing for that, but everything that's being implemented right now could be overturned by the next president or when the next party's in control. And so stuff like that is so frustrating to me. It doesn't matter if it's healthcare initiatives, whether it's climate change, whether it's the Jobs Act that we're trying to create jobs for people. Any of that is going to get overturned in the next election. It's so frustrating. How are we going to make any progress?
We saw 40 years when George Bush Jr. was in office. He rolled back 40 years of environmental protections because we were having a hard time with the economy, and he was trying to spur a growth and a better economy by rolling back these and allowing plants that had switched away from coal to go back to it. I don't know how you make a decision like that and then sit down and have dinner with your kids.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think there needs to be, oh gosh, like, I think I've said before, like, manufacturing companies and people, those big corporations that cause a lot of pollution and cause a lot of ecological destruction should have to set, like, either be taxed for, a certain amount or percentage that goes directly into a fund to repair that damage, or they should have to set up some sort of recycling component to their company so that if you have a manufacturing plant, you then also have a recycling plant that is attached to that, to where your products can come back and either be reused by you or, some way to lessen the impact of what you're doing in your manufacturing process. It should be their responsibility to set that up as part of their business plan.
Well, you're saying kind of what I said last week, and I think you were on that show when I said we need to change corporate law and make it the people and the environment and then the stockholders.
Right.
And, if you don't follow those 3 and put those first, your corporation's going to be in trouble, maybe even scuttled. Your CEO might go to jail. That's what needs to be enforced. We need to switch that to where money and greed aren't the reward. You take care of the people, you take care of the planet, then you make your money.
Right.
And what could possibly be wrong with that?
Nothing.
And you can't look at what's going on at Lake Mead right now.
Oh man, it's bad. It's
And
horrible.
think we have that we're not in a state of crisis on our environment.
New
Um,
Mexico City and Las Vegas, New Mexico. Okay, not Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas, New Mexico. Both 30 days of water left. They have 30 days of
yes.
water left.
And so you can't, how do you look at those situations? And I remember hearing decades ago that at some point in the future, the most precious commodity on our planet is going to be water.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming.
And I mean, we're already seeing that situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's scary. And it's not, it's like we look at that and then you look at the horrible floods they're having in Texas. And people say, well, it's the extremes,
Mm-hmm.
the climate extremes. And that is all part of the crisis we have now. And so, I'll be honest, I have no idea what the answers are. I like, what you guys were saying about holding companies accountable,
Mm-hmm.
but something's got to give, and it's going to be the human race if we don't figure this out.
Mm-hmm. Over the weekend, I was at a weekend retreat with my daughter, and it was one of the most amazing things. So many young people, like the generation, like of my daughter's age group, early 20s, even late teens, are so conscientious about the environment and about helping and humanitarian type causes. I had the opportunity to meet several young business, like startup business people that are in their early 20s. One guy, he has a company that provides clean drinking water to impoverished areas. There's people that do the microgreens and organic farming and all that stuff, and just all these people coming together. And so I think that we have some hope, in our younger generations that are really taking stock of everything that's going on and really stepping up to try to make a difference and fix some of the brokenness. So props to them, and I hope that we can have a little bit of light in our future.
I was talking to one of my buddies, and he was really, upset about politics and the climate and what's happening to our planet, and worrying about his kids. And I said, but there are glimmers of hope out there. You have to try and wade through, what they'll call yellow journalism,
Mm-hmm.
because the last thing a power generating company wants is solar power. So, of course, they're going to put out propaganda that say, oh, my God, we can't get rid of these blades from the windmills. It's going to be horrible. We're going to have these polluting, they're hunks of fiberglass. We're going to have these blades everywhere. Oh, my God, what are we going to do? It's kind of fake news,
Right.
And then the little shows that we have about climate and the environment, that we air on KCHW, some of them are really good.
Mm-hmm.
And this group comes out and says, this is a lie. We've had a plan to how to recycle windmill blades for a long time. It's super easy. But that's not what people heard.
Right. And
people heard the one that the power agencies, and I don't want to start naming them and get in trouble, but I'm sure that's propaganda put out by them to make solar power, wind power, or whatever look bad, because eventually, if we start harnessing solar, wind, geothermal, all this stuff, our regular old power companies are going to take it in the shorts.
Right.
And they don't want to see that. It's just like the electric cars and the gasoline. Eventually, they're going to take it in the shorts, and they don't want to see it happen. So as much bad propaganda as you can flood out there to sway people away from change and keep the status quo, the better off they're going to be. And people that are worried about Michelle used this term the other day, and I loved it. People that are worried about, the batteries, and the pollution that comes from the batteries. There's a problem with the battery technology. But that doesn't mean battery technology is not going to change, because you used it. It's that old thing is necessity.
Oh, necessity is the mother of invention.
Yes, yes. These new things that we're doing, there will be problems that come up from them, and we will figure out how to deal with that. I believe that, because we always do, because we come up with things before we know the dangers of them. And battery technology, there are tons of groups out there right now trying to advance battery technology. And I think it's going to happen. I watched a documentary where one guy was taking a lithium battery and he drives a nail into it, and it begins to immediately arc weld and throw sparks and put off bright white light, and you can see why your car would explode. But then he shows the battery he's working on, and he pounds like 18 nails into it. It never shorts out. It never starts throwing sparks. And then he hooks it up. It was still generating power.
Mm-hmm. Well, and on the flip side of that, too, like I've heard stories where people have run car dealerships and they get a shipment of a specific type of vehicle that's for a specific buyer, and these vehicles are somehow geared to get 100 miles to the gallon using gasoline. So if they have the technology to do that and they're so worried about the environment, why don't they give that technology to everybody? And then we'd be in a lot better position instead of making people pay crazy amounts of money for gasoline in the first place, and then you only get 16 miles to the gallon. If they have the technology to make that product more efficient, then where are they on stepping up with that knowledge?
We're back to the corporate greed thing, though.
Exactly.
But yeah, and it's kind of it's trying to find the balance, because electric cars, yes, great. We don't have to rely on fossil fuels. But at some point, we have to have the charging stations. Mm-hmm. You have to have electricity. So, whether that's hydropower, solar power, whatever, you still have to have electricity. So there's nothing that has no impact on the environment.
Right.
And so it's trying to find that balance between what is good for the planet and what is, good for the human race, basically. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you're seeing more and more in California, the places that really are starting to go more towards electric cars. But like I said, so how does that work? You're out on the freeway and you didn't charge your car right, and now you're out of power. Do you have somebody that their new business is to come along with a fast charging battery and get you going again? There's all these issues that are not simply solved, I guess is what I'm getting at. There's always some trade-off that has to be made.
And a buddy that was recently in Seattle, he said it looked like at least 50% of the cars were already electric that were on the road.
There was a lot of Teslas on the road when I was there this last weekend. A lot.
So the charging stations must be coming along.
Yeah. You see a lot of them around here, too. I'm not a lot, but more and more Teslas on the streets. So, but yeah, I mean, it's not a simple solution. Hopefully, if it was, we'd have it fixed by now.
Well, get ready for September, because there's a whole bunch more electric cars coming your way. This September, Volkswagen unveiling 11 models of electric cars.
So my question is, if they're really trying to push for this, and I asked this when I bought my car last year, because I bought a gas-powered car because I can't afford an electric car. I asked them, so when they start doing this push to take the gas-powered vehicles off the market, is there going to be some kind of a rebate or some kind of something where if you take your gas-powered car in and trade it in on an electric car, you get some sort of kickback for making the switch? Because, not everybody can afford to do that. So, I mean,
Well, I think if right now, though, is what I was looking at some of the prices of the cars coming out in September. If you can afford to go out and buy a new car, which, unless you're buying the low model Kia, you're going to pay over $20,000 easily, even for a base model of the cheapest vehicle out there. If you can afford to go out and buy a new car, the prices on the electric ones are going to come down even more. And some of the prices I was seeing weren't bad. I mean, people go out and drop $60,000 on a new truck. So what's $40,000 for an electric car?
Yeah.
I think if you can afford to buy a new car, you're going to be afford to buy an electric one. And right now, the electric ones come with a $6,000-$7,000 tax credit.
Oh wow!
Ka-ching! Yeah. So they've got stuff out there, I think, to make it easier. And car companies want to make money.
Right.
So. All right. Should we leave all the politics and climate change alone?
Yes.
Let's move on, because I know you want to,
What?
make fun of us later or something.
Of course.
Well, let's play that song again. That'll change everybody's attitude.
Mama liked to party when you were in her belly. Drinking she did some. Mama liked to party when you were in her belly. That's why you are dumb.
Sorry. So mean. All right. Did I offend you with that, Val?
It's pretty hard to offend me.
I thought so.
You know what? I'm going to get back used sometime during the
Sooner or
show.
later.
So
right.
it's good. It's good.
All right, let's move on to bits and breaks then. And Val, I'll just go to you first. How often do you clean your belly button?
Well, not that often. Let's see. You brush twice a day, brush your teeth. You floss daily. Not very many people, but you do floss. You shampoo your hair. Maybe too often. You get 45 minutes of vigorous exercise each day. How often do you clean your belly button with soap and water? I mean, really clean it, not just brush a soapy washcloth over it, because apparently belly button health is so lacking that the website Mental Floss came up with an entire article on the subject. Okay. Soap and a washcloth can work for innies, but you may need slightly more specialized tools, namely a cotton swab and some rubbing alcohol. Before you hop in the shower, coat the cotton swab in rubbing alcohol and delicately scrub all the folds of your belly button. If the Q-tip gets dirty quickly, it's a good idea to switch to a fresh one. After you're done, repeat the process with water in order to get rid of any excess alcohol. That will help prevent your skin from becoming dry. Since alcohol can be hard on sensitive skin, some doctors recommend just sticking to soap and water. Dermatologist Dr. Susan Bard told Teen Vogue, I recommend patients clean their navel daily in the shower with gentle soap and water. So you might want to know what happens if you don't clean your belly button. Supposedly, an unpleasant odor isn't the only issue a dirty belly button can cause. Those small creases are a playground for bacteria. Moisture tends to pool there, and the area becomes like a petri dish. That alone is enough to cause an infection. Oil, dirt, keratin, and other gunk can also build up over time and solidify into a hard brown or black stone known as omphalololobibida or a navel stone.
A navel stone? You're going to get a rock in your belly button?
A navel stone, yes.
Oh, sounds like something you could collect.
Oh.
I have 4 navel stones and one belly button dust bunny.
You just love grossing me out, I think.
Well, if you're married, tongues?
Ew.
No. No. That's not a thing.
Clean my belly button for me. Maybe not.
That's why you have a hard time finding a girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's why they don't like
It says
me.
right on your Twitter, you must be willing to
Clean my belly button. With your tongue.
clip my toenails and clean my belly button.
Claws. They're not toenails, they're claws.
Oh.
I use them to scale trees. Just saying.
I want to see that.
You want to?
I want to see Scott scale a tree with his toenails.
He looks like a sloth.
It's like that's on my bucket list now.
Well, once I get up in that tree, I'm not coming down. I am a sloth. All right. I've got bizarre deaths. All right. These are kind of fun. 2017, 59-year-old Michigan man was found a day after he fell out of a boat while scattering his father's ashes on Lake Superior.
Oh, man.
Hold on. Let me join you. Sorry.
He's drinking.
I'll join you in death.
Inappropriate.
A 2002 man in Sweden died when he was buried alive under a 13-ton pile of peas in a storage silo.
Oh.
That's no way.
What a horrible way to die.
Vegetables are supposed to be good for you.
Not in that amount, Michelle.
No,
Come on.
I mean, everything in moderation, I suppose.
Everything in moderation, even your peas.
Yes, especially your peas.
Oh, man, that's disgusting. I have more. I'm like horrified at the idea of like dying in a silo. That'd be the worst. I've heard of people doing it like in grain silos and stuff.
Yeah, that's even happened locally here.
Oh, really?
R.I.P.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it has.
That's
very
bad.
unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
All right. In 1977, during the South African Grand Prix, race car driver Tom Price struck and killed a man at 170 miles per hour as the man ran across the racetrack to extinguish a burning car. Fire extinguisher, which the man carrying struck Price's head and killed him instantly. Another bizarre death. These aren't fun at all, are they?
No, they're bizarre for sure.
Last one in Beverly Hills, 2012. Police responded to a report of a body slumped over a driver's seat of a hearse parked near the Beverly Hills Hotel and discovered that the hearse driver apparently died while transporting a body to the funeral. Female driver appeared to have died of natural causes.
Wow.
So there you have it, folks. Death is contagious.
Let's just kind of slip her in the back.
Stay away from all the dead people you know.
Oh, man. All right, I got a sound effect for this. Bear with me.
There's no way for a man to die.
Nope.
Yeah, you're right, Ed. A parachute not opening, that's the way to die. Getting caught in the gears of a combine, that's the way I want to go.
All right. If only we could choose in which way we go. All right.
Yes. I don't want any Final Destinations type of stuff.
No,
I just want to go quietly in my sleep.
You know, I mean, at least with the Final Destination stuff, it seemed pretty quick.
Exactly.
You know? So I'm like, if it's going to be bad, I'm okay if it's quick. Just
there you go.
But,
I just want to end up being my own odd news story.
Well, you know.
You've been aiming for the Darwin Award for a long time.
It's possible. It's possible. I am the only person to get electrocuted while cleaning a fish tank.
Oh. How many times?
Twice.
Yeah. So, you know.
I got shocked in an old house, too, and I was half asleep. And then I couldn't figure out what happened to me. And I did the same thing and got shocked again. And then I was awake.
So there's a weird thing with the women in my family. Anytime an electrical storm is brewing in the sky above us, we will literally shock everything that we touch or get shocked by it. And the most random weird thing that I never thought I could get shocked by was running water.
Wow, you got a short somewhere.
Yeah, clearly. More than one.
Wow, you're really short.
Yep. Shorty short.
Well, speaking of short people and dying, listen to this.
Well, we learned in medical school that the short ones do go faster because they smell more farts than the rest of us.
I knew that was going to catch up to me one of these days.
And here comes Michelle with 4 things you didn't know yesterday.
All right. So, I didn't know this yesterday. It's probably true, though. There are 300,000 items in the average American home because we buy too much stuff. Stuff.
Wow. Yuck. All right.
Texas is the most popular state to be tattooed on someone, according to the National Association of Tattoo Parlors. Okay.
Interesting.
I suppose. I mean, I don't see very many people walking around with a Washington State tattoo.
It's just not as interestingly shaped.
Right, I guess. Okay.
And Florida would just look funny.
Oh,
What's that supposed to be? Okay, sorry.
Until 2012, it was okay to sell magic spells and potions on eBay. Darn it, I missed that boat.
I was so sad when they put me out of business.
Man.
Remember when you could buy a haunted mirror on eBay?
Oh, my gosh.
I don't remember the haunted mirror.
Oh, yeah, haunted mirrors were a big thing. Yeah.
So
Why would you want to do that?
Ooh.
Yeah. So how do they get it haunted? Like, is there like a ritual they do and they like lock a spirit into the mirror?
Yes.
I knew it.
Yes, I did.
I knew it. So apparently...
that brings up every horror movie I've ever watched.
Right? And some of the apartments I've lived in. But I guess now we'll have to go to the black market to get our magic spells and potions.
Yes.
And haunted mirrors.
Yes.
Also known as Val's house.
Yes.
Oh, wait till I use one of those magic potions on you, brother.
The
Make me
haunted
taller.
winery is her black
Yeah,
web
ooh.
handle.
Oh, I like that.
Mm.
Well, I do call it Magical Cat, and it has a black cat on my
Ooh.
label. So.
Yeah.
That's why I said it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's which one of those is your dark web handle? So we can order our magic potions from.
I'm not telling. Darn
Was
it.
that was her old work name, Magical Cat.
No
Sorry.
magic potions, people. She's not telling. All right. The last thing you did not know yesterday, maybe you did if you've ever been there. Australia has over 10,000 beaches, and now I am suddenly super jealous. I bet they're all beautiful too.
But they most likely have something deadly on them because Australia is known for their poisonous stuff. So,
Welcome to Scorpion Beach. Crikey.
yeah.
All right, Val, our mother is now president of the United States. What's that mean for people? Grandma Nan is now president.
Oh my goodness, I better know. There's so many things. But this was a question that they actually asked on Reddit, and here are a few of the responses. Suddenly, the White House chefs will be asked to create early bird dinner specials. All White House television will be permanently set to HD TV. Not with our mother. It'd be set to what are the ones that play the old westerns like that? Gunsmoke.
Me TV, permanently
Yeah.
affixed to Me TV, or perhaps the
for sure.
700 Club.
Yes, either one. You got it. Yeah. Every American will get a birthday card with a $5 bill.
Aww, so sweet.
If it was our mother, it would be a religious card as well.
That's true.
At the end of each day running the country, the Secret Service needs to walk around the White House checking to make sure every door and window is locked and all the lights are shut off too. Afterwards, the president will walk around the White House to make sure every door and window is locked and every light is turned off too. If your mom was running the country, always be prepared for the president to barge into your room without knocking.
Of course.
Everyone will be overfed and then given Tupperware full of leftovers. I do this to my kids all the time. Every citizen in the U.S. must now go to bed at a reasonable hour.
Mama says so.
Yeah, turn down your music, too. Every host of every morning show and judge program on TV will immediately be given the Presidential Medal of Honor for their wonderful contributions.
Don't forget Pat Sajak.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, everybody is going to be watching Wheel of Fortune every night. The military will be disbanded. Any disagreement between countries will be resolved by sitting all members down at the kitchen table and making them say 3 nice things about each other.
Aww.
Oh, that's a lot easier than my mom would have had it. You had to sit on the couch and hold hands for an hour.
Ooh.
I've heard that one too. And finally, those who leave splatter in the microwave will be asked to leave the country.
Get out of here.
All right. I got a last one here before we head for trivia. I think I even got an intro for it, maybe. Yeah, I do. All right. Here we go. True stories told in one sentence. True stories.
It sounds like hymn music.
It was.
Okay.
All right. Within 30 seconds of each other, my dentist told me I brushed extremely well, but that I also had a mouthful of cavities. I wanted a popsicle until I saw the dead cat blocking everything in the freezer.
Ew.
All right. At my father's funeral, my best friend of 35 years came up to me and asked me how I knew the deceased.
Okay.
Shortly after telling us we needed to lose weight, my grandma was offended that we didn't want all the desserts she had prepared. Isn't that the way it goes? You're getting kind of fat. Here, have a cookie. I was annoyed at the old man in front of me as he drove 10 miles an hour under the speed limit, but then I saw the cop hiding around the corner. I knew that I had made a critical error in judgment lying on the floor in the dressing room. Seriously considered calling for help out of my skinny jeans I had squeezed myself into.
But I couldn't breathe.
But at that point, you can't breathe well enough to cry for help.
I also noticed skinny jeans are really, really hot. They are. Have you been in a pair?
Yes.
They keep places warm you don't want to have warm.
That's right. Wow.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
It's Val versus Michelle. Or Michelle versus Val.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Ooh, tough questions for you guys, too. It is KCHW Chihuahua. I want true or false. Competitive art used to be in the Olympics. True or false?
Competitive
False.
art?
Yes.
False.
And Michelle, I heard you say the same thing. You are both wrong. It's true.
What? What kind
Yes.
of art?
Huh?
What
It doesn't
kind-
say competitive art. Who could paint the fastest picture?
Like-
I don't know.
That'd be like
I don't have all the
fencing.
details, just some of the details.
like they're fencing with a paintbrush.
Yes. All right. Is it true or
Throwing
false?
easels at each other.
Oh, jeez.
True or false? A chef's hat has exactly 100 pleats.
False.
I want to say it's 99 for the 99 ways to cook an egg.
No, it is 100 pleats.
Oh, well, then it's 100 for
What?
100
Yeah.
ways to cook an egg.
So if somebody
OMG.
counts your pleats and you really don't have 100, you're not a
Not
true
a chef at all. Nope. You are an imposter.
Okay.
OMG, you can be traced back, you know, the statement, the acronym, OMG can be traced back to 1917. True or false?
False. I'm just going to stick with false. I eventually have to get one right.
Michelle?
I'll say true. Just
You're going to say
because-
true?
just
It is true. All right. Some cats are actually allergic to humans. True or false?
True.
True.
And what do you say, Michelle?
True.
You're both right. They are. All right. Majority of Val's brain is fat. True or false?
True.
True. And the rest
You're
of it's
both right
wine.
again. In fact, the majority of both of your brains are fat, and mine too. Everyone, in fact. All right. At some point in history, high heels were originally worn by men.
True.
Michelle's pondering it.
I'm thinking.
Hmm.
I'm going to... I'll say true, but only because I'm thinking about logger boots with like the stompy waffle bottom heel.
I'm picturing the guys in the fake wigs.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly true. They wore high heels.
Why? Aren't they tall enough?
You'd think their hair would make them tall enough, but
True or false? Dolphins have names for one another.
I'm going to say true.
yeah, I'm going to say true. They've all been true so far.
It is true. The blob of toothpaste that sits in your toothbrush is called a nurdle.
Of course it is. Yes, I'm going to say true.
Yes, you're both nurdles.
I'm so
All right,
using
this is
that
a
on
tough
my
one. A
kids.
cloud can weigh more than 1,000,000 pounds.
True.
True.
It is true. And what were the strange things about all those questions?
They were all true.
They were all true.
I caught on after the fourth one or third
You
one.
did? All right. See, I was
Yeah.
trying to make it easy for you guys so you could just like look super smart. 22% of men and 11% of women have forgotten this at some point.
Their own
Their
birthday.
anniversary.
Yes. Is that what you're going to say, Michelle?
I said the other one's birthday.
Oh. All right. What do they have in common? All right. 3 things. You tell me what they have in common. Doe, buck, fawn.
They're all deer.
Yes. Soldiers' teeth, oil wells.
Rigs? I don't know. I'm trying to think of what. Soldiers, teeth, and oil rigs?
Focus on the teeth and oil wells.
Okay.
Drills.
Oh, well.
There you go, Michelle. Good job.
Good job.
Walk, run, bunt.
What is a bunt?
That would be baseball.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Cart, wagon, Ferris.
Wheels.
Wheel.
There you go. I'll give you both credit on that one. How's that? Which one's a lie? Original design of the Empire State Building included an enclosed side which took passengers from the 20th to the first floor. The inventor of Jell-O sold the rights for $450. Or 14,000 people in the UK are injured by vegetables each year.
Oh, which one's
I'm
the
gonna
lie?
go with the Jell-O.
Jell-O for $450. All right.
I'll go with the vegetables.
And you're both wrong. Original design for the Empire State Building included enclosed a slide, which took passengers from the 20th to the first floor, is a lie.
Oh, slide?
Yeah.
You said wall. Didn't he say wall?
I said something else. I know. I messed it up. So.
All right.
I'll give you both bonus points on that for me being stupid.
And you get a minus 50.
Yes.
For being stupid.
Being stupid. Hey. Hey. Maybe
your
that
fatty
song.
brain.
Oh, wow. Did you hear what she said? All right, you threw me off. Here we go. Almost 40% of women admit they've been angry enough at a man to do what?
Oh, so many things pop into my mind right now. And none of them can be said on the radio.
40%?
Back up to that one. Yes, 40% of women admit they've been angry enough at a man to do what?
Burn his things.
Ooh.
Oh, that was a good one. I was going to say smother him with a pillow.
I think if it was 40%, we'd hear about that in the news more often.
Yeah, it'd be a lot more
They've
smothering.
been mad enough too, but they didn't say they actually did it.
Oh, that's true.
So almost 40% of women admit they've been angry enough at a man to do what?
Oh,
key his car or
I was gonna say break something of his.
Yeah.
No. You guys are missing the obvious one.
What, to leave?
Divorce him?
No. For me, it was a knife.
Stab him.
Assault him?
Almost 40% of women admit they've been angry enough at a man to throw something at him.
Oh.
Knife. She did in her defense. She did say catch first.
Well, good thing your head is so hard.
It bounced right off. Handle first, bonk.
Well, I'm definitely in that 40%.
I actually was stabbed by one of my wives, but it was because she was drunk and falling, and I reached out to catch her.
Oh.
I guess I did throw something at Brad once. Okay. I was so mad at him, and all I had in my hand was a deck of cards.
Lucky for him.
It didn't go anywhere.
When I
I'll
was
flap in front of your face.
Yeah, and then he was like, "Well, I guess now you got to pick those up. Which way me matter?"
Right.
Oh.
But at that point, I didn't have anything else to throw.
Yeah. When I was in my 20s, I used to have tantrums like that. I remember one time my ex-husband at the time had been gone for like 4 days, pulls into the driveway, and from the second-story window, I threw his PlayStation at him.
Oh. Did you miss?
I got this.
I wasn't, I guess I wasn't throwing it at him. I was throwing it at the ground in front of him on purpose. So, that same kind of concept.
Okay.
All right, my next one is pick the worst. Really no points for this. I just want to know how you guys feel about each one. So pick the worst, eating cereal without milk or eating pancakes without syrup.
Cereal without milk.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
Running out of toilet paper in the bathroom or having no tissue with a runny nose in public.
Ooh.
In the bathroom. No toilet paper in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I can use my sleeve if I have to.
Exactly.
Right. I agree.
And she does. All right. Eating 52 hot dogs or eating 52 hard-boiled eggs?
Oh, neither is good.
Which is the worst? Ugh.
Hot dogs, no way.
Yeah. Yeah, hot dogs.
Pink slime. Yep. All right. What's the worst? Well, this is going to be a tough one. I don't know how anybody's going to decide this. This is the worst. This question is the worst. What's worse? Used car salesman or a politician?
Politician.
All right. It was pretty easy for you. All right, and an unusual amount of hairs start sprouting up on your back, or an unusual amount of hairs start sprouting out of your nose.
Which is worse, out of your nose?
The back. I'm going to say the back.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, unless you're able to, you ain't going to know they're there. At least someone's on your in your nose, you can see them and get rid of them.
Especially an unusual amount of hairs start sprouting up in your back if you're a girl.
Yeah, that's not
But then you can at least wear a shirt. If they're coming out of your nose, everybody's going to see them.
They have those. They have those things.
I have
Well,
two.
there's nair for your back.
But I can't. I don't know.
Do girls? No, Val, you're maybe a few years older than Michelle. Do girls have problems with nose hair like guys do?
Yeah.
Oh,
As you get older. Well, I mean, not a massive amount, but every once in a while you'll look in the mirror and there's this one that's all squiggly and coming out. And you're like, why did nobody tell me I had a wild hair coming out of my nose?
All right.
Okay. Note taken.
We've solved most of the world's problems. Congratulations. It was a dead-on tie for today's trivia.
Oh, thanks for being so generous to me. Because I think Michelle whooped me.
All right. Congratulations, Michelle. You win today's trivia. Yay! That wasn't fair at all now, was it, Val?
No.
Told you
Oh,
when.
I'm fine.
Took it away. All right, we
No,
go to
that's
break.
all right.
We go to break. We're running late today, so we're going to do quick news, and then we'll be back with today's odd news, local birthdays, and more. Stick around. It's Northern Lights Public Radio.
Over 20 different genres of music each week. You're listening to the Music Education Station, Northern Lights Public Radio, KCHW 102.7.
You're listening to 102.7. KCHW, Shawila.
Welcome to 2022 Talks, where we're following our democracy in historic times.
Vote like your life depends on it, because it actually does.
Former Republican governor turned Democrat Charlie Crist takes on Florida Agricultural Commissioner Nikki Fried in the state's Democratic gubernatorial primary today.
You have a choice. We can keep losing, or we can try something new.
Crist is ahead of Fried in recent polling. Whoever advances will face Republican incumbent Ron DeSantis, a top GOP name for the 2024 presidential race. In New York, voters will weigh in on congressional and state Senate seats. Vacancies in the House due to retirements, resignations, and campaigns for higher office have resulted in numerous candidates running in congressional races. And due to redistricting, a new Manhattan area seat has two Democratic incumbents facing off, Representative Carolyn Maloney and Representative Jerry Nadler. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell doubled down Monday on his take, saying Republicans have a 50-50 chance of flipping the chamber in the November general election. He predicted it will remain closely divided, whatever the outcome.
The big issue is, do you want Chuck Schumer to be making these decisions or Mitch McConnell to be making these decisions? Because I assure you they would be dramatically different.
Some races with the potential to flip the balance include Pennsylvania, where Democrat John Fetterman has held up well so far against TV doctor Mehmet Oz. Georgia, where Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock will try to fend off a challenge from former NFL running back Herschel Walker. And to replace Ohio Republican Rob Portman, Democratic Congressman Tim Ryan faces controversial newcomer Republican J.D. Vance. Former President Donald Trump's legal team is asking for an independent attorney to oversee the review of evidence gathered from his Florida home. The legal filing came as a federal judge rejected the government's request to keep the entire affidavit behind the raid sealed. Senator Ron Johnson says he won't testify before the January 6 House committee. The Republican claims he had virtually no involvement in a scheme to appoint fake electors to overturn President Biden's 2020 election win. Now to New York, where Governor Kathy Hochul on Monday announced the end of COVID-19 quarantining and test-to-stay requirements for the next school year.
No longer are we going to be sending kids home, keeping them away from that essential experience of being together in a classroom, because we are now still dealing with the fallout of those decisions made when we had less information.
And after more than a half-century in government, the face of the White House's COVID response, Dr. Anthony Fauci, says he's leaving public service to pursue the next chapter of his career. Fauci battled misinformation about the virus and was a staunch defender of the science behind the vaccines.
The attention that's being paid to this, the effort that's put in to get vaccines distributed, I think this is a good response.
Congressional Republicans vowed to investigate Fauci's conduct amid accusations he obscured his knowledge of the origins of COVID. I'm Mary Sherman for Pacifica Network and Public News Service. Find our A-Trust indicators to support transparency and accuracy at publicnewsservice.org.
Your KCHW Morning Show, made possible by a donation from God-Fearing Brothers Auto Center. God-Fearing Brothers specializes in auto services, including repair, maintenance, and detailing. They also stock a full selection of tires, make glass repairs, offer towing, and have an auto sales lot on the corner of Highway 395 and Main Street at the light. For more information, you can visit the Auto Service Center at 806 East Main in Chewelah. Find them online at godfearingbrothers.com or by phone at 509-935-6414. KCHW FM thanks God-Fearing Brothers for supporting public radio in Stevens County. And we're back. It's KCHW 102.7, your morning show with Scott, Val, and Michelle. And Michelle, you're rolling out our local birthdays if we have some for today.
Yes, we do. So happy birthday today, August 23rd, to Parker Washington and Nora Arnold. Yes, Nora Arnold. And a happy anniversary to Steve and Linnea Lane.
There you go. Applause all the way around. You know them, you love them. Tell them we were talking about them on the radio, but don't tell them what we were saying. Yeah. All right, celebrity birthdays, Val.
Oh, this one will get you, Scott, because I can't believe it. But Barbara Eden, I Dream of Jeannie, is 91 today.
Me and Michelle were talking about that, and I told her I had a huge crush on Barbara Eden, but I'm over it now.
Oh, man. Do you remember back in the day? I mean, we used to watch I Dream of Jeannie all the time. And I think, you know how some kids play Cowboys and Indians? We played I Dream of Jeannie.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. I
was the genie.
Come on. I got to be the genie.
Oh, yeah.
Richard Sanders, who was Les Nessman on WKRP in Cincinnati, is 82 today.
My favorite line from his.
Okay.
I thought turkeys could fly. That's when he dropped the turkeys out of the helicopter.
Oh.
Yeah. Bad idea.
I remember that, yeah. They can only fly short distances.
Not from a helicopter. Nope.
Nope. Shelley Long from Cheers and the Money Pit is 73. Rick Springfield, 73 as well today.
He can't even see Jesse's girl. Sorry.
Oh, Jay Moore from Last Comic Standing and Jerry Maguire is 52. Ray Park, who played Darth Maul in The Phantom Menace and Solo a Star Wars a Star Wars story, is 48 today. I kind of butchered that one for sure.
You still are, for sure.
For sure. Scott Kahn from Hawaii Five-0 is 46 today. The new Hawaii Five-0, worst writing ever.
Really? Because it's got Daniel Day in it too.
Oh, we finally quit watching it. The writing was so horrible.
Oh.
Anyway, our personal opinion. Joanna Froggatt from Downton Abbey is 42. Jamie Lee Kirchner from Bull is 41. And Francesca Reel, who played Heather Holloway on Stranger Things, is 28 today.
All right, moving on to history. It happened today. We'll start off in 1784, where Eastern Tennessee declared itself an independent state under the name of Franklin. The step was rejected by the United States Congress 1 year later. They were their own country for a whole year.
Yeah.
Right. 1968, Ringo Starr temporarily quit the Beatles and then decided it was a bad idea. I could always tell he wasn't the smartest man.
They let him back in, though. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. They needed one homely guy.
Oh,
did I say that out loud again? Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. I'm really sort of sorry. Mostly sorry. All right. Let's see. 1991 in Lansing, Michigan, 250 gerbils chewed their way out of shipping boxes and scampered through the airport.
Oh, wow.
I think there are women and men screaming and jumping up on everything.
Grandma, why is the carpet moving?
All right, 2000, Richard Hatch was the first winner of the TV show Survivor, and didn't he get in a lot of trouble, too? He was like arrested later. And
I don't know. I know that he got naked on the show, which, of course, they blurred out, but I didn't know that he got in trouble later on.
I thought so. I definitely then squandered his $1 million really quickly. All right, 2003, a 47-year-old German man lost his driver's license after failing to perform any of the required actions on an alcohol test. The test was noteworthy, though, because the man's dog executed all the commands perfectly, including a 360-degree turn as his master staggered and fell.
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's an odd news story right there.
It is. That's awesome. The dog could do it, but he couldn't. Walk a straight line.
Should have trained the dog to drive the car.
Yeah. I don't even think that's illegal. There's not even a law to pertain to that. You can't let your dog drive? Show me where it says that.
It's either that or I drive drunk. Come on.
Yes.
Make a choice.
2010, heavy winds knocked down the Anne Frank tree in Amsterdam. Let's see. Let's find a positive one. 2015, in an exhibition in Taiwan, a 12-year-old boy tripped and ripped the 17th century painting Flowers by Paulo Porpa, worth $1.5 million.
Oh, oops.
Ooh.
You're gonna have to buy that.
Hopefully they had it insured.
I hope so. World's driest place, non-polar, the Atacama Desert in Chile, bloomed after an unexpected rainfall. The year was 2017.
Nice.
So like in the desert, there was actually like seeds just laying there waiting for some water.
That's wild.
That's the miracle of seeds. I don't remember where I heard it, but it was like one of those inspiring quotes that, even a seed has to die before it can bloom, or before it can grow. So interesting.
All right, Mrs. Fancy Pants, then why don't you just use special events?
I think I will.
Okay.
Because they make me happy. Like, today is buttered corn day. And that's delicious.
I know.
Popcorn or buttered corn.
It is.
But you can make it popcorn then.
And
That's
butter
in
it.
corn.
Butter that too.
Huh.
All right. It's also Cuban Sandwich Day.
So does anybody know what that is? Is that a sandwich with a cigar in the middle?
So it's like a hot dog filled with nicotine.
Same thing.
Ugh.
And ashes.
It's hot. It's very hot. But only on one end.
Cuban Sandwich Day. Or is it full of cocaine?
Oh.
Just a guess. Sorry. Just guessing.
Clearly on white bread. Anyway. Hug Your Sweetheart Day.
Oh.
Scott, try not to squeeze Mooch too tight.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mama liked to party when you were in her belly, drinking she did some. Mama liked to party when you were in her belly, that's why you are dumb.
Yeah. We're going to hear that for weeks to come, I'm sure.
I know.
Only on Tuesdays, though. Only on Tuesdays.
All right. International Day for the Remembrance of the Slave Trade and its Abolition.
Right.
So that's an honorable thing for the day. And it's followed, right, with Sponge Cake Day.
Oh.
And Ride the Wind Day.
Soar like an eagle.
I tried this Ride the Wind thing because everybody's into sailboats here.
Oh, yeah.
There's sailboats. There's sailboats everywhere. You can actually go down to and buy a pirate ship, a replica. But there's sailboats everywhere. And so on one of my dating sites, I put on there that there was water everywhere in Maine, and I was so excited, and that I was hoping to find a woman with a sailboat, and to please send the picture of the sailboat.
Nice. That's also a bucket list item. I want to learn how to sail one of those someday before I'm too old.
All right. Well, if I find a girl with a sailboat, I'll invite you out.
Yay!
I don't think it'll probably work.
Oh, Scott, you must lower your standards and up your average.
All right. What is the number of the day, Val?
It's 22, and that is the percentage of fortune cookies which actually deliver a prediction. The rest give words of wisdom about success, happiness, education, creativity, friends, etc.
Huh.
Yeah, have you ever gotten like a really scary fortune in a fortune cookie? Like one that just kind of made you Yeah. We were out
Really?
We were out at dinner one time, and I cracked open my cookie, and it says, "Help, help, I'm being held prisoner in a Chinese cookie making factory." Just kidding. Just kidding.
Last time I heard that joke, I laughed so hard I fell out of my crib, Michelle.
Yeah, well.
All right, I had another one, but I don't think it's really appropriate, so I'm going to skip it. All right, horrified. I saw this news story today. Last week, we told you the price of chicken wings had dropped, and now this excellent news. The benchmark price of eggs in the U.S. is $2.16 a dozen, down 37% from the record high of $3.38 a dozen in mid-July. Retail prices follow these benchmarks, so they should be reflected at grocery stores shortly. I know here in Maine, $5 for a dozen eggs.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's ridiculous.
I asked the lady at the grocery store, I was like, what, does Maine not have chickens? and she said it's kind of like a supply and a demand thing. And I mean, this is really a rural state. And she says, well, most people in Maine have their own chickens. And I was like, oh, guess I got to
you need to find somebody selling farm fresh eggs.
Yeah. I'm a rooster and I need some hens. But yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. I miss the days of being in Chihuahua and getting eggs for $1.89 a dozen. That was like the going price, like forever. So I don't know what they're up to in Chihuahua now. Anybody buy any eggs? No.
I know that they've gotten expensive. I think when we bought them at Costco, 2 dozen eggs was $4.69 maybe, which was gone up a lot. They used to be like $3.79, I think.
Mm.
All right, a couple weeks ago, I got catfished on one of the dating sites, and she was flirting with me, trying to get me to invest in her cryptocurrency scam.
You didn't fall for it?
No, I was like, cryptocurrency like tanked a couple days ago, right? I mean, it's like washed out the bottom. All right, everybody's lost their money. Yeah, it was crazy. During this year's Super Bowl, there were 4 commercials for cryptocurrency companies. In fact, in February, large crypto companies hit a high for advertising spending with $84.5 million in February. Well, as I said, times have changed, and crypto winter has hit, as they call it. They said this July, large crypto companies spent just $36,000 on television ads, and the last I heard, crypto's lost about 80% of its value. So,
wow.
If you were heavily invested in that, you are in trouble. All right.
So is Bitcoin like doing the same thing then, or is it still?
Bitcoin is cryptocurrency, yes.
Oh, so that's part of it. I thought there was like different.
They're just saying
I mean, at different companies.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Crypto. There are a bunch of different companies now, but the last I've heard, and in fact, they haven't even been charting in the news, so I don't think they've recovered, because if they were going back up, you'd hear something about it. So, Actually, right now they're saying with the fluctuation of the stock markets and investing, one of the safest things to do is real estate investment crowdfunding. I've been checking this out. So it's like, 100 people going together and buying a big apartment complex.
Oh,
so cryptocurrency, not crypto, but real estate investment, which they call them REITs. But this is would be on the public scale, which lost a lot of money. But they're saying the private ones, and it's crowdsourcing. So there's one called, I want to say, crowdfunding. And then there's another one called, just Google if you're interested in it, E-REITs, which would be E-R-E-I-T, real estate investment, and IET, I guess. I'm getting it all messed up. I'll think of it Fundrise, that's what it was. Fundrise was one of them, where you can go together with a bunch of other people and invest in real estate, because maybe you don't have the money to do it yourself. But they were saying that has been the only area of investment over the past year that's really brought in big returns for people. And that's because of the housing shortage and the increase in rents, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
So if you were going to do that in kind of investing, I imagine if you're working with Fundrise, I'd be like picking places like Spokane that have had huge increases in rental fees. So I don't know. Just a little investment news. We'll talk to Mike about it tomorrow and see what he thinks, because he's the money guy around here. All right, we're coming toward the end of the show. Let's do that thing we do.
Slap some bacon on a biscuit and let's go. We're burning daylight.
It's the world of strange. A world gone wacky.
Out here, due process is a bullet.
And some of the scariest people on the planet.
I think you're bluffing. Be afraid. You know, you look mighty pretty when you get mad.
It's your odd news on KCHW.
Just sit back and enjoy the show.
All right, well, if real estate investment isn't your thing, you can invest in the news attack, where the first part is true and the second part is a big fat joke. A bad one to boot. And Michelle is kicking it off.
All right. Survey says the average American kid's yearly allowance is enough to buy a top-of-the-line iPad. Good for them. My allowance wasn't enough to even buy a calculator to figure out how much my parents were ripping me off.
Me and Val were lucky because Mom and Dad paid us, like $1 less than minimum wage?
Yeah, excuse me, we got paid pretty good, back in the motel days there.
Yeah, we got paid for cleaning rooms, mowing the lawn, that kind of stuff. $1 less than minimum wage, which is pretty generous for parents. They could have just told us to do it.
Yeah,
so that was cool.
My mom was.
Sorry, go ahead, Michelle.
My mom was more of the, well, if you want to eat dinner, you're going to help with the dishes.
I just remember how mad my dad got when I told him I couldn't mow the lawn anymore because I got a job at the IGA in Chewelah. He was so upset.
We used to get paid for our grades, too.
Yes, we did. But I remember that when I got the job, Dad was really upset about that. I was like, Dad, they pay me minimum wage.
$1 more an hour, Dad.
$1 more, Dad. You have to mow your own lawn now. And he didn't start charging me rent, which was cool. Yeah. All right, Val, next one's all you.
Oh, according to a study, chocolate may lower the risk of stroke among men. At last, the vindication of Count Chocula.
Yay. Country of Hungary fired 2 meteorologists, so this is going to come up later again, who got a forecast wrong.
Oh, wow.
If the U.S. did that, we'd see new weather people on TV every other week.
Try every other day.
And this show, too. Back to you, Michelle.
A study found that having too much of the good kind of cholesterol can lead to an early death. There's no escape.
Just when you thought you had it figured out.
Right? Does this mean that I can now say that I'm eating this cheeseburger only for medical purposes?
Ooh. I like that.
Me too. Researchers say our brains boot up when we wake up in the morning, which explains why I have a hard time getting out of bed. My brain is boosting up its own version of Windows XP.
I don't know. That's kind of pushing it, Val. I'd say you were more maybe like Windows 98.
Windows 3.1.
Yeah. It's worse for me. I'm Windows Millennium.
Oh, boy.
I don't even work.
Oh, that was Vista. Windows Vista.
Oh, no, Vista was okay.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I didn't have a problem with Vista. All right, Chinese censors changed the ending of the animated movie Minions: The Rise of Gru. They didn't like how Gru snapped his finger, making half the minions disappear.
Oh, boy. That's a loaded concept.
Yes.
Moving right along. A Tennessee couple on a first date let themselves into an unlocked church at 1 a.m. so they could play the piano. And that right there is how they get plot ideas for Hallmark Christmas movies.
So true.
It's lame.
Finally, a study found we should be washing our bed sheets weekly to every other week. I told Scott this, and he said, they come off?
I tugged on them, and they didn't seem like they wanted to.
Adhered.
I think nobody's going to say it. Okay, I'll move along then. On to the world of wacky but true. Where we add nothing to these stories but sound effects, and I guess it's my turn. A 39-year-old Ohio man visiting Nashville was kicked out of a bar Saturday evening and returned later in the night, attempting to re-enter while causing a disturbance with the staff. Security alerted police, who attempted to place the man into custody for trespassing. He initially walked away from officers and then attempted to place a $20 bill in the pocket of the arresting officer in an attempt to get out of the situation. During a recent incident to arrest, a white powdery substance believed to be cocaine was located in the man's pocket.
That would have been funny if he tried to tuck that into the officer's pocket instead of the 20.
Hey, buddy, you just take this and it'll all be fine.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Yes.
That's not mine. It fell out of my Cuban sandwich.
Wow, Michelle, that's good.
Right.
Yeah, you go next.
A tanker truck carrying portable toilets overturned Monday along an interstate in Raleigh, North Carolina. Oh, that stinks. Rain was falling at the time of the crash. Authorities believe the driver ran off the road and overcorrected. He was taken to a hospital with a broken leg.
Looks like chocolate.
No.
Oh, this looks delicious.
No?
No.
Blue chocolate. Oh, that wouldn't work at all. All right.
No.
This is what I guess responders had to do.
Commence Operation Vacuum Suck.
We're gonna need a bigger vacuum.
Oh,
Val.
Let's move on to the next story. A German woman on her way to pay respects to a dead relative plowed across the cemetery, drunk in her car, smashing up headstones and tombs before she ground to a halt in someone's grave.
Wow.
So when I was a kid, I'm not gonna tell that story.
Are you pleading the fifth at this moment?
Second thought, I'm going to plead the fifth. But I will say, once in high school, we did back into a grave in the cemetery.
Just once?
Just once. The truck actually went like that, was pointed up in the air. And that was after a cop had already been there and said, get out of the cemetery and I don't want to see you again tonight. And then we had to walk through town.
I think you told me that story.
Yeah, there's some other things that circled around it, but we're going to forget about that other stuff.
Right. We're not gonna...
All right. This is what she had to say, though.
Could it be Satan?
Yeah, okay. I think we're back to Michelle.
I think it's your turn.
Is it?
It is your turn.
It is my turn? All right. In Jerusalem, bull escaped from its pen early Monday, setting off a panic scene in the streets before it entered an office building. Bull evaded capture for half an hour as it scampered through the hallways. You ever heard of bull scampering?
No.
Never. Never.
Amateur video showed residents scurrying for safety as the bull roamed the streets. Several cars appear to have been damaged. The bull nearly gored one man who got too close. Inside the building, the animal slid around the tiled floors as it ran through the hallway with several men chasing it. So this is like the running of the bulls in reverse. Man unsuccessfully attempted to capture it with a makeshift lasso. A piece of the rope quickly frayed. After being chased out of the bank offices, the bull was tranquilized by city veterinarian employees and taken from the area. Wow, poor guy.
Wow.
Can't you just picture it like sliding on the floor and around the corner and going again?
Need some
like your cat does, but
effect.
yeah, like your cat, only larger.
Yes.
Well, looks like the cows have come home to roost.
Didn't have any good bowl sound effects. Sorry. All right. Now it's your turn, Michelle.
All right. This is where we revisit the Hungary meteorologist fired for making the wrong forecast. Forecasting the weather is not unlike forecasting the price direction of a given stock. One can make reasonable calculations and offer probabilities, but there are always forces at play beyond the realm of prediction. Such was the case Saturday when Hungary's National Meteorologist Service persuaded officials to postpone a major fireworks show and other public events due to extreme weather warnings. The show was set to include some 40,000 fireworks launched from 240 different locations in the heart of Budapest. 2 million were expected to watch, but all went home disappointed. As it turned out, the weather was just fine. The Weather Service was quick to apologize on Facebook for the inconvenience, explaining that earlier forecasts showed an 80 to 90% chance of strong rain and winds, but that the least likely scenarios played out. Despite the apology, the fact that the show was merely postponed for a week, the country's two top meteorologists were fired.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Ouch. Well,
yeah.
You really messed up for 2 million people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's go live to the scene. This is kind of what it sounded like.
You're fired!
And then when they tried to argue about it...
No, never mind trying to say anything. Just shut up and get out.
Yep.
All right, last one is all you, Val.
Oh, thank you so much. In Germany, a man walked into a bank and demanded cash. The teller refused, perhaps because of the weapons he used to threaten him with, a water pistol and a potato peeler. After a brief standoff, the would-be robber left empty-handed. He was arrested 5 minutes later as he wandered down a nearby street still wearing his ski mask. Oh, that takes the cake for the stupidest one we've heard in a long time.
Yeah.
That's right. And this is what he had to say.
So, do I still have to go to jail?
Just a potato peeler.
They gave him KP duty once he got there, too.
Have you ever nicked a knuckle with a potato peeler?
Oh, yes.
I have scars still from my childhood. And you couple that with a water pistol full of vinegar, and you might have a deadly force there.
You might be actually scary, huh?
Yeah.
Ooh. Huh. All right, then we could play this one.
The strain was terrific. And impossible though it seemed, he got an idea.
All right, that is our show for a Tuesday. We're hoping Mike Bentz is all better and comes back tomorrow, but I haven't heard. But we will have some kind of show for you tomorrow, we promise. All right? Right?
Yes, yes.
All right, keep your promises, Scott.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
You know it. All right. And other than that, we want you to keep on listening to Northern Lights Public Radio. Big thanks for Michelle back at the studios for keeping us under control. And my sister Val for joining us live from Deer Park.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah,
And other
I'm
than
just
that...
going to be hearing that song all day about me being dumb.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe if I play it one
My
more time.
feelers were hurt.
No,
I'm kidding.
I was so excited to find that for you. In case you missed it.
Mama liked to party when you were in her belly, drinking she did some. Mama liked to party when you were in her belly, that's why you are dumb.
Oh, yeah. Just kidding. I love you, sis. And Michelle, you're okay, too. Everybody have a great day. Keep on listening to Northern Lights Public Radio.
All right, the time and the money I've wasted on your training
If you still turn out to be a blithering idiot, you're another failure. You make me sick.
Oh no! We suck again!
Well, the jerk store called, and they're running out of you.
It's 9:04.
You're listening to Northern Lights Public Radio on 102.7 KCHW. Shawila, Addie, Gifford.